There was a sound issue on the first one. So let's see if this one actually works. We'll wait and see if anybody joins in. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me talking? Oh, we got 7 people. Yes, you can hear me. Fantastic. Okay, we'll get stuck back in then. Don't worry, I'm happy enough to do all that again because it all feels so nice. So this is awesome. From here, we're going to work on our squat today. So one of the tests that we have in the simplistic mobility method is the crossed arm overhead squat. So being able to cross your arms up over your head and sit yourself down into a squat with the arms still over the head. Very, very challenging movement, especially if you're someone like I was that's super inflexible. So yes, you can still hear me. Awesome. Sound is great. Awesome. So I'm going to go through the best stretches to start working your squat if you're inflexible, okay? So if you really struggle with your squat, these are awesome to do. There's going to be great tips for hip stretches and stuff in general anyway, so it's still worth watching even if you're okay with your squat. This is how to make stuff better. So we need 3 things for a happy squat. Good upper back mobility, good hip mobility, and good ankle flexibility as well. I'm going to use a box for all these stretches, but what you can do is just use your bed, okay? So just on your mattress, on your bed, at home, absolutely fine, okay? So very first thing that I like to do is just the clockwork hips drill. From here, I just lift my foot up, I put it on my mattress, on my bed, and I rock myself forwards and backwards like this. So from here, what we're working on is that front leg, or the front leg here is working on that deep position in our squat. So this leg, when it's like this, is representing this in our squat. So that nice deep position, we're trying to build that one side at a time. If you're super inflexible, that's the secret to working on things. So if your hips are really tight, my glasses, if your hips are really tight, then you want to work like that in a nice, easy way with less body weight. So we go forwards and we go backwards, trying to get the knee over the toes. You don't need to warm up to do this. You can jump into this right away. So we go forwards and backwards. Especially if you have knee issues or back pain, this is still a really nice thing to do to loosen everything off. We're also working on the back leg as well. So we can work on the extension of the hip and stretch with the hip flexors of the back leg. So when I'm like this, if I bend my knee and then push and straighten it, that starts to stretch out the quads. Howdy everyone. You can still hear me okay. Keep letting me know you can still hear me. It's important. So from here, front leg, we're working on flexion, trying to get the knee over the toe. This is what, so imagine this back leg wasn't here. If your squat looked like this when you sat down, you'd be like, that's lovely, that's great. So it's a case that you can do it, you just haven't unlocked the ability to do it fully yet. So the range for a lot of people is actually there. It's just you don't have the strength in that bottom position yet. So you can start to work on that by getting into these positions in an assisted way. So we go forwards and then we press that back leg back and try and get that stretch in the hip flexor as well as we do this. You can squeeze your bum on that back leg, get used to pressing out of this deep position. So this is me rocking forwards and backwards. So I'm just rocking like this, getting a bit of a stretch in the hamstring. And then this is me actually using the muscles to come out of the position. So I'm here, I'm trying to pull myself deeper first of all, and then I press my foot into the mattress and I push myself back. So now I'm starting to use the muscles in those deep positions too. So I'm pressing down in, and that's what's pushing me out of the position. So this is rocking. This is actually dragging, trying to pull deeper, pressing away. I'm still getting the muscles to work in those positions, okay? So that's our deep flexion and our extension. Next, we want to work on our external hip rotation. So a way to do that is the elevated pigeon. Do not put any pressure on the knee here. So you don't want to feel any pressure on the outside of your knee. I put both my hands on the bed, okay? So I've let my knee fall out to the side a little bit, and I put both my hands on the bed. I'll show you here from the front so you can actually see how far my knee is out. This far here, okay? So I'm not going right the way down as deep as I can get right away. Take my time. I go in, I let that leg fall out to the side. Both hands are on the bed, and then I bend my back knee to get myself into a lower position, and this starts to work. So most of my weight is through my arms right now, and I'm feeling the stretch in the hips, okay? So from here, I can rock side to side, keeping myself nice and chilled. And then I can sink a little bit deeper. Again, no pressure in the knees. It's all got to be in the hip. So we do it on both sides. So a little bit of a fall out to the side. Ease into it first of all. If it all feels okay, bend the back knee and let yourself come down a little bit lower. And this is something that feels quite deep and quite intense to work on. You don't want it to be painful. You want it to be, ooh, don't really like this, and it's not very enjoyable. So we want to look for not pain or discomfort, just unpleasant. So unpleasant is what we want in a stretch, that it's going to be nice to come out of it in a second. So that's how we work on both sides. You can do this with the 90-90 as well. So the 90-90 position, which everybody should know by now, but again, if I jump down to the 90-90, everyone's like, I've seen the 90-90 before, it doesn't help me. You're not doing it right, okay? So you can get that same elevated pigeon sensation into the 90-90, okay? So from here, I'll get into my 90-90 position. So you can see. Can you see it, guys? See it okay? I'm gonna move this out of the way. So 90-90 position. From here, both hands go like they were on my mattress in my bed. And from here, I arch my lower back, okay? So I stick my bum out like that. And what I try to do is get myself as upright as possible, and then I reach my sternum forwards, and I get that exact same intense sensation in my glute, in my hip as I do that for my external rotation. The nice thing about this is now you can start to work on your internal rotation while you're down here. So here, I can start to lean forwards, big breath in, breathe out, and start to bring myself more forwards. If I just round my back and go all the way down, it's like, oh, look how flexible my hips are. I'm just rounding my back. It's fine. It's not hips. We got to go for these positions here and reach into the hip and feel it around the glute in a really nice deep way. So that's a nice way to do the 90-90 position. So in this other leg as well. So here, both hands either side, and I reach myself forwards. Tailbone up to the ceiling, sternum going forwards. Really deep stretch in the hips. So I'm not rounding my back, I'm going forwards like this. And that's actually as deep as I can get right now. If I hang out for a while here, I'll probably get a little bit deeper. But again, now we're getting from unpleasant and start to going, don't really like that, so I'm comfortable. So that's external rotation, flexion, and extension that we've worked on. We also want to work on our ability to abduct and stretch out the adductors as well. So being able to get the leg out to the side, we want to work on that too. So that stops our knees caving in our squat, essentially. Can we still hear me okay? Double check. Sound is great. Can you all still hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. We got 45 people. Surely someone has a thumbs up. Perfectly. Awesome. Fantastic. 90-90 can feel great if you haven't done it in a while. Yep, I can hear you. Oh, 90-90, guys. Like, I would aim to be in the 90-90 at least once a day. Not even in like an intense session. Just get some floor time. 90-90 is just so good to keep on top of your hips, okay? Especially if you're someone with like disc injuries and stuff. Getting on top of your hips, so important, okay? So, next thing we're working on, adductors. So we're going out to the side. So from here, I can start to go forwards and backwards like this. So when I do this with everything facing this way, it's deeper into the hamstrings. What we're looking for here, so this is the backs of the legs. What we're looking for here is up in the business, basically. So nice and tight like that, and then push so that you get that sensation in the groin, okay? So this is where you want to get rid of any tightness, especially if you've got back pain. If you've got tight groins, not good, really not good. All of that stuff here, if it's tight in here, it all pulls the lower back and you just feel, like this. Oh. So you gotta open that all out so that your hips feel loosey-goosey. So forwards and backwards like this, first of all. Keeping the breathing nice and relaxed. So normally if I'm not waffling the camera, I will just be breathing through my nose and just Really relax breathing to just show your body it's safe to go into. Next thing we can do is turn the foot down this way, okay? From here, I can push my hips back and it'll feel slightly different, okay? Muscles don't just go like this forwards and backwards. They're able to overlap each other and move in different angles and stuff as well. So it's so important to have different variations of stretches that you're doing, okay? So forwards and backwards, soft bend in the knee. I'm not pressing my weight through my knee. I have a soft bend in it and I'm trying to get the muscle, okay? If you're trying to stretch something, aim to feel it more towards the middle and not at a connection point too much, okay? Shoot from the side. So I go like this. So this is my forwards and backwards, my rocking, with the torso facing this way. And again as well, you can push the foot and push yourself back like that. So we're using the muscles in the position. Another nice one to do here while you're here as well is drag your heel. So if I actively try and drag this way with my heel, I'll start to switch on the muscles up in the groins as well. So fire up the adductors for a little bit of an isometric. So next one, we tilt the foot down and we can reach the hips back like this. And again, in this case, keep spine straight and really focus on getting into the hips. If I round my back, I can get lower, but it has not changed the sensation in the hips whatsoever. So I want to make sure that I'm pushing back and back up again. This helps us open the knees out. So we've done our hips, we've done our external rotation, internal rotation, extension, flexion, abduction, and we stretch out the adductors as well. Now what we want to do is upper back, okay? So we're going to go back to the first position that we did. We're here, boop, like that, and then we get ourselves locked in. So what this does is it stops us being able to twist from the hips and the lower back as much, okay? From here, my right foot is up. I put my right hand down on my bed, and then I reach and try and twist through my upper back as much as I can. I'm not just reaching with my shoulder, I'm reaching with my spine, my upper back, and trying to get a stretch in the ribs. Then I take a big breath in, I breathe out, big breath in, I breathe out, big breath in, I breathe out. And again, it's unpleasant. I'm starting to shake by the end of it, okay? If you do 1,000 reps like this, you'll never get any further, okay? You've got to use the breath to get yourself pried open more. I love words like pry. Think about prying things open. Helps you use strength more. Other side, leg up, locks the hips in place. Left leg up, so left hand down. I reach, big breath in, breathe out. Big breath in. Breathe out. Big breath in. Breathe out. And relax. Oh, love that one. So, this is the second run through I've actually done of this because the first one didn't work with sound. Have we still got sound? Paranoid now. Tom, would I know if a muscle needs stretching versus strengthening? Basically, if you cannot get into a certain position, so if I was trying to do that elevated pigeon and trying to get myself lower and I just wouldn't move, I gotta focus on stretching more. Okay, so if I can't get down and get into that position and move around, it's a flexibility limitation. Strengthening would be if you say were to go down into your squat and to come back up, you're like, oh. Then you know it's a strengthening issue. There's really subtle things with some strength stuff that you might not even know that you're weak in a certain area because the other muscles make up for it. So that's why when I'm in stretches, I try to create tension while I'm in the position. So even this one here, while I'm here, I can think about squeezing in as if I was squeezing a big Swiss, an exercise ball in between my legs. So I'm working on the stretch, but I'm also working on the strength at the same time. I always talk about lengthen and strengthen. You want to do both anyway. So if range of motion is fine, work on tension in your positions. It's especially important if you're hypermobile. You've got to work on tension in positions because for the large part, you'll not struggle to get into any position, but you've got to have a bit of strength there. Next one, ankles. Okay, so we've worked on the hips, worked on the upper back. Now we want to work on our ankles. So go to the base of your bed, the foot of your bed, and I want you to put the ball of the foot up nice and high. Okay, you're not just going for the toes. We're not looking for a toe stretch here. We want the ball of the foot up nice and high. And then from there, I can use my hands to try and pull me forwards like that. So hands on the mattress, and I pull myself forwards until I get to that really unpleasant sensation in the calves, okay? So for some people, if you've never stretched your calves deeply before, it can actually make you feel sick, like physically sick. So you might want to take a break and ease off and relax and take a wee second to get used to it. If you feel okay, try and press into it a little bit more. So I've pushed through the back leg a little bit more to try and bring my hip up closer towards the bed. And I pull myself forwards a bit more, like that. I hang out here and I rock from side to side as well. So remember, ankles are super mobile. You got to make sure when you're stretching things out there that you move yourself around like that. And then the other side, remember, ball the foot up as much as you can get it, and then push yourself forward. So we're looking for a deep calf stretch, not a toe stretch. Use my hands to pull myself forwards more, back leg as well. It's unpleasant, but not painful. Keep the breathing relaxed. Like that. Lovely. So if you've got super tight ankles like I used to, then I would work on that probably like 3 rounds. I would do each side 3 times and really try and get the range a lot deeper. The further your knees can go over your toes, the better your hips will be loaded, the more upright you can be in your squat as well, which takes a lot of pressure off your spine too, okay? So we want to now put this all together in a squatting type movement. We're still not going to squat yet, okay? So what I like from whenever I could not squat, like just trying to sit down and do a squat and hope it gets better, that was never going to happen for me. In fact, it was painful and it hurt my knees and my back, okay? So what we want to work on is the kickstand position. So what I do is I replace the heel with the ball of my foot in one leg. So my heel is up on my left foot now. So I use this as my assistance leg to push myself deep into my right hip. I've still got my bed here beside me so I can use it for balance. So from here, I push myself into that right hip, using this leg to let me get into position, okay? So it's there for support, to help me get my knee over my toe like I had up earlier on, to open up the hip like in that 90-90 position, and try and integrate that deep calf stretch into getting the knee over the toe. So this is the kickstand position. So from here, I can then swap to the other side just by lifting that heel. Now I focus on my left hip, okay? If you need to change your foot position, that's okay. You can also work on foot a little bit more straight. See how that feels. Foot a little more pointed out. See how that feels. And just rock yourself around and get used to being down there. So about 20 seconds at a time, come back up, shake it off. If you haven't been in a deep, deep squat before, it's a lot for your hips, okay? Yes, it's a beginner foundational movement, but if you haven't been there, your muscles are not used to it, and it's a lot of extra work for them. So you want to take your time. You'll probably find the next day after doing it, your hips feel stiffer and like you've got a bit of DOMS. You got to keep with it, and it just then becomes your norm, okay? So you got to work on these things, especially if you feel extra sore the day after working on mobility stuff. It just shows you really, really need it then, okay? So we work on both sides, and from here, we can then start to work on even reps, trying to sink ourselves down, trying to get ourselves nice and upright. You can even add in that crossed-armed overhead position, and then we push ourselves back up. And then we can work on the other leg. We squat down, and we push ourselves back up like that. So what we're thinking of is integrating everything together, and then over time, keep testing your crossed-armed overhead position and see where you can actually get to with both heels down, okay? So use that as like a tracker. So see where you can get to as you do that, and then over time you can start to build that up. Whenever I first tried to try and do that movement, I was like this. That was it, and I'm not even exaggerating. In fact, I was a little bit more to one side. I was like this, trying to do it. That's what my squat used to look like. So that's how you can put all this stuff together. Use your bed. You don't need to have a box, use your bed. And I would say if you're not happy with your squat, work on it every day until you get it, and then you can use your squat to maintain your squat, okay? So, what we got? Hello, Poland. Does the shoulder cushy rotation work? Shoulder external rotators. Yes, it works everything. So whenever you're going up into this position here, you're ending up in external rotation, okay? So it's a really, really nice one to work on, and it also works your internal rotation as well. If you get really good with those, then you'll find the need for a lot of like weird drills like this. Just, you don't need them. You just don't. So. Da, da, da. If there's a pinching or snapping sensation in the groin, it's a flexibility issue, not a strength issue. Again, it could be a combination of both. If something is weak, it can often tighten up and feel worse, okay? And then if you just start stretching, then you're not gonna make any progress with it. So I would work on both. Lengthen it out, stretch for a few groin stretches, and then add tension into it. And it's one of the reasons I really love the side plank march drill in the simplistic mobility method, because it helps to just bring everything together, okay? So work on Copenhagen planks, and they will really, really help as well. So lengthen and strengthen anyway, but if you're getting to a point where you're stretching stuff and you're like, it just feels fine, you don't need to spend as much time on the stretches. So I used to have to stretch a lot more, like 8, 9 years ago or whatever, to get into positions, but now I just have them as access to me at any time I want. So now I can just work on strengthening really, but in full ranges of motion. So I still stretch, but I focus on the tension as I do them. Boom, boom, boom. So answer a couple of questions, ideally squat related, guys, because this is a squat video. So for anyone watching at another time, I will cover back stuff and all, but yes, the sound was all good there. I am based out of Lisburn, so this is my home gym. Combat pulling in mid to lower back constantly twice a year and sort out tension on it. So again, if your back, low back, mid back is going out, the thoracic rotations that we did there, really good to mobilize your upper back. So there's less stress on the muscles there. So really open up your upper back with thoracic rotation exercises and those movements for your hips. Work on those. Your spine sits on your hips essentially. Make your hips move better. Spine feels a lot better. Yes, you can put your heels on something, so that's a nice one as well. If you have something that you can put your heels on, that can help you get down into your squat. And I would still do like squat sessions like this. I would use heels, use goblet squats, do really nice deep squats with the heels elevated. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but in order to fix your squat, if this helps you to get really, really deep, then it just shows you really need to work on your ankle flexibility. So loads of time working on those deeper ankle stretches and working on that kickstand overhead position, getting used to being there with the knee going over the toe. That's what's going to help you into your squat a lot more. So always think about that, that you're actually working on the limitation. Don't just do the heel squat. So heel squat will help you get used to being lower, help the hips, but still work on the main limitation, which will be your ankles. In Lurgan. No, unfortunately, I don't do sessions from my own gym, purely from I don't have insurance to bring them up here. So if someone wants to come up the driveway and trip or whatever, I wouldn't be insured. So that's why I can't train people from home, unfortunately. Try and develop squats with foot drop on the left side. Any tips? Can't dorsiflex. Check out our foot and ankle playlist and start seeing if there's anything in it that you can do. When I had foot drop, sometimes, like, as it started to come back, I couldn't just straight dorsiflex like that, but I could, if I was like sideways like this, it would kind of work. And through working on it at different angles, I was able to then start getting the front angle to come back. Wiggling the toes is super important. So like one of the first things to see, even if you've lost that ability to dorsiflex, is can you lift the big toes up, keep the little toes down, and can you push the big toe down and lift the little toes up by themselves? Trying to improve the connection with your overall foot muscles can really, really help with foot drop. So feet are involved in squats, so it kind of still works. Why do you think people experience pain in the back squat like in the lower back? Either they have tight hips, really poor ankle flexibility, so the stress is being put on their spine instead of into their hips, or their technique isn't great, or they don't understand bracing properly. For a lot of people, if you don't know how to brace correctly, then it's as if your joints are just kind of going, and they're just grinding and being pushed into positions. Whereas when you really, really understand how to create tension correctly, that's how you can actually have a much better, safer squat as well. So squats and deadlifts, if you don't understand how to brace correctly, it's really going to mess you up. So yeah, whenever you are squatting, make sure you know how to brace properly. So make sure that you're able to actually create proper tension through your middle and use that to drag yourself down into the position. So even though I don't have weight right now, that felt way harder than just doing this. Okay, so learn how to brace correctly. Very, very important. That's why I love using planks and side planks to create tension and teach you how to do that. You can try this one in your bed as well. Here, this is me in like an elevated plank position, and this is just me holding the position, okay? There's no tension in me right now. If I was to squat, that's what it would look like. No tension, which is fine, okay? It's absolutely fine. If we're talking weighted squats though, what I need to do is imagine I'm dragging my elbows down like that and make my entire body shake with tension, okay? So I squeeze my glutes, drag down, and now all of a sudden, my entire body's shaking and my box is even tipping. So I'm dragging down, and this is the tension that I want to have whenever I actually squat, okay? So same idea here. Imagine I'm dragging down, my arms don't move, dragging down, bringing my sternum towards my belly button. Then I pull myself down into position. My hips feel much tighter, which is righter. Your hips should feel tight. The muscles should feel like they're working properly. So that was actually a great bonus tip there. So yeah, make sure you know how to brace properly, because for a lot of people squatting, they've just got a weight on their back and they're resisting the weight flattening them. It's not the same thing at all. And that's why so many people, they'll feel all right at the time, but then their back starts to hurt in their general day-to-day life and stuff. So yeah, very important to know how to brace properly. So I think I will leave you guys with that. And yeah. Brace before you squat with weight. That's another big key point. Like, you don't need to walk around your entire life going like that, but if you've got a weight in your back, you got to know how to do that. And if you want to make, so say you're doing a mobility session, it's good to put tension into positions so you get more out of them. Okay, so you're not just going through the motions. So yeah, keep with that. Add tension in to feel stronger. Okay, so hope you guys had an awesome time. Thank you very much for joining me. And yeah, I'll go and delete the other video. I didn't have the sound on it now. So yes, thank you all much thank you very much for joining me.